So what if I told you that the key to your next big idea isn't some new app or another brainstorming session? What if it's a secret code that's already running inside your own mind? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly that. How understanding your brain's weird little shortcuts can unlock your most creative solutions.
Have you ever been there? You're staring at a problem, you're totally stuck, and you're just thinking in these frustrating circles. It feels like you've hit a wall, right? But what if you're the one who's actually building that wall brick by brick with your own mental habits?
See, that wall comes from something called the creativity paradox. It's this central conflict we all have. On one hand, we crave innovation, we want new ideas. But on the other hand, our brains are basically efficiency machines. They create shortcuts and default to familiar patterns just to save energy. It's an amazing survival tactic, for sure, but man, it can be a real killer for breakthrough thinking.
But here's the fascinating part. The key to getting around this is realizing that those mental shortcuts, all those little quirks, they're not random glitches. No, they're a predictable code. And if you can understand that code, you can start to work with it instead of fighting against it.
This right here is the big mindset shift we need to make. Instead of trying to force our brains to be less lazy or less habitual, we can actually use those very tendencies to our advantage. The goal isn't to fight against the current of your thoughts, it's to just gently steer the rudder.
And this brings us to this really cool concept, irrational human behavior. Now, I know the word irrational sounds chaotic and random, but it's not. The most important thing to remember is that it's predictable. Think of it like a river. It might curve and bend in ways you don't expect, but it always flows downhill. Our thinking is kind of the same. It follows these predictable patterns, and because of that, it can be guided.
So how do we guide those patterns? Well, that's where cognitive nudges come in. You can think of them as these tiny, gentle pushes in a new direction. They're not commands. They're just small, intentional changes you make to steer your own mind down a more creative path.
Okay, so this brings us to our creative toolkit. It's time to stop being just a passive resident in your own mind and really start becoming the architect of your own thoughts.
The master tool in this whole kit is something called choice architecture. This is the simple idea that how choices are presented to us totally influences what we decide. You know, like how a cafeteria will put the healthy food right at eye level? Well, for what we're talking about, it means you can literally design your own mental environment to make creative solutions the most obvious, most likely choice.
So this chart breaks down our decision-making into 3 basic modes. First up, you've got decisions under certainty. This is when you know all the possible outcomes. The creative clue here: figure out how to make the new, innovative idea feel like the safest choice. Then there's during risk, which is all about probabilities. Here, the nudge is all about reframing that creative leap so it feels way less like a gamble. And finally, we have intertemporal choices, basically choosing between a reward now versus a bigger one later. The trick here is to make that future payoff of a creative idea feel more immediate, more real, right now.
All right, so we've got the theory, we've got the tools. Now let's put it all together in a practical guide you can use the very next time you feel stuck. It's really a simple 3-step loop. Step 1, spot the pattern. You have to be a detective of your own mind. Where does your thinking get repetitive? Are you always avoiding risk? Are you maybe too focused on the short term? Then, step 2, design the nudge. Based on what you found, pick a tool. Reframe the risk. Make that future reward more vivid. Make the creative choice feel like the default option. And finally, step 3, reframe the problem. Once you apply that nudge, you'll naturally start to see the entire challenge from a completely new angle. It's almost automatic.
So if there's one thing you take away from all this, it's this: creativity isn't some mysterious lightning strike from the heavens. It's a process. It's something you can actually design. By understanding your mind's predictable quirks, you can build the thinking process that favors innovation. You are in control.
And just look at this chart. This shows you exactly why these nudges are so powerful. The effort to actually use one is incredibly low. I mean, it's just a little mental shift, but as you can see, the potential for impact is huge. It is one of the highest leverage creative tools you have in your arsenal, period.
So I'll leave you with this question to chew on. That mental habit you've always seen as a limitation, you know, that tendency to avoid risk or always stick to what's familiar. What if that isn't a flaw at all? What if, by understanding it and just gently nudging it, it could become the very starting point for your next breakthrough idea?